you the other. Oh yeah, we don't get sent League One women's refs, so this is very useful too.
Oh good. I just came over. Is this match of the round?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, every week they give me match of the round.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
So this road.
Yeah.
New center.
Yes.
So Jeffrey Jones.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right, Alex Vajani on the line.
Jax, let me know if this is coming through. Can you hear me, Jax? Test for Jax, test for Jax. Can you hear me? There we go, that's all good.
Oh god, 3-6. What are fullbacks? Oh, for God's sake. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no, Ronnie Palmer. Ronnie Palmer's one. 3, 5, 6, and 15 in front. Then 8, 10, 11, 14. Oh jeez. Well, I could totally butcher this line, but I just realised I've never seen Tamsin Buchanan play. So.
And the other one's in as well.
Huh?
Sabo's in as well.
Buchanan. 6. So we've got Ty Schwartz, Brooke Hastings in 3. Ashling will be the captain. Then Ronnie Palmer will be right back. Oh no, I've got to put that hoodie back on. This is a ball. I'm dying already. Oh, so that's Sutherland. Okay. Who's the Emily Grove? Is she the keeper? 61 is a very good. 61 is a very good. Are you sure?
Yes, she's been keeper the last time.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
56 with a keeper is a keeper. Oh no. Oh no. Thank you. The rest, good luck. masochistic thing to do. Okay, oh fuck. Okay, big fuck up there. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Jesus Christ. Nah. Make sure. Oh, here we go. There's that. Who's the hill? Oh, that's nice of them. Oh, I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down now. Actually, if only I had a seat for this specific purpose. Who's the kid? Who's the Sutherland captain? Really? Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Harry Denning Centre for the Football New South Wales League One Women's Match of the Round. It's round 9 out of 26, and it is the turn of the undefeated league leaders, Hills United, to visit Sutherland Shire, where they take on the home side, Sutherland Strikers. Eric Subihano here. I'm really grateful as we do commentary that the rain has held off, and we should be set for another great game in the second tier of women's football in New South Wales. And for those of you less familiar with the teams, it's the hosts, Sutherland Strikers, in what appears to be the traditional representative colours for all Sutherland teams, with the light blue shirts, while Hills United in the yellow jerseys with the navy blue shorts. Let's go through the two lineups while we have a chance. Firstly, for Sutherland, in goal for them, number 56, Ariane Bacot, and the others, number 3, Abby Harrison, number 4, Daisy Davis, number 5, Rosie Degnan, number 6 is the captain, Diane Wilson, number 8, Ellie Carrington-Window, number 11, Matilda McParland, number 13, Annika Wender-Dunstan, number 24, Elka Coombs, number 28, Shelley DeBrincat, and number 61, Amelie Grove. And Sutherland are coached by Hanif Rodani. So for Hills United, who are, as always, coached by Alan Tarsis, and it looks like Hills are about to kick off. And we think Hills will be in roughly a 4-1-4-1 shape. So in goal for them is number 1, Nicola Simmons. The 4 defenders, number 15, Tamsin Buchanan, number 6, Brooke Hasty, number 3, the captain, Aisling Davidson, and number 5, Rani Plummer. In midfield, number 8, Bella Donaldson, sitting just behind number 10, Bianca Galliani, number 14, Ellen Chemajar, number 17, Rachel Glendenning, and number 11, Isabella Chaberas. And up front for Hills is their top scorer for the season, number 12, Jess Wooden. So I'll run through the two sets of substitutes, perhaps an appropriate break and play. And I have guessed what the Hills formation is, so anyway, there's the whistle. Away we go. As the play begins, let's see how many mistakes I made while guessing that intro. As Davidson passes to Hasty. And for Hills, almost perfect. In their opening 7 games to begin 2025, 6 wins and a draw. But their only drop points came in front of our cameras. It was back in round 5 at Football New South Wales headquarters, Valentine Sports Park, as that switched out to Tamsin Buchanan. But it was back in round 5 for that weekend's featured game, where Hills dropped their only points of the season in a 1-1 draw against high-flying SD Raiders, as there's good defending there by Sutherland. Before Donaldson and then Davidson break it up. And then Hasty as well for Hills. And now for Sutherland, I do believe this is their first appearance in front of their cameras for this season, but they've had success against Western Sydney side so far. They had 4-0 victories over the Spartans in round 6, and then in round 2, a 5-1 win over Nepean. So Sutherland hoping that they can repeat that success against another Western Sydney side, but it will be quite you'd think, based on form, a big task for them today, as Davidson switches it over to the far side. And as always, commentators were thankful for players with ribbons in their hair, so that's how I'm able to tell that Rani Plummer is at right back for Hills United. There's Wilson for Sutherland, and then a header from Davidson. Plummer under pressure. And pressure, Degnan applying the pressure. She looks to be in the Sutherland attack this afternoon. And it's a very cool afternoon here in Kareela. As it's going to be Amelie Grove taking the throw in. Luckily it's dry, but there is a very cooling breeze. But, you know, should be perfect conditions for football as Sutherland slowly make their way up their left-hand side in front of the 2 technical areas. Plummer plays it back, and then Davidson back to Nicola Simmons. First touch for the Hills keeper, who's a new signing for Hills in 2025. She's previously spent time at Manly United, and last season Nicola Simmons was at Gladesville Ravens. as the ball down the right, it is cleared over the sideline by Davis. Plummer wins the throw-in. Can Hills work it into the box for a shooting opportunity? And might come here as there's the cutback, and now Gallieni works the space, and it's a good save from Bacot. But there we go. There's clever work from Chemaja on the build-up. She knew the angle was too tight, and she was looking for the cutback. She did well to find Gallieni, who scored at this venue when Hills visited here last season, and then now might have got a bit of a sore one. But yeah, by coincidence, we streamed Sutherland's home game against Hills United last year. Bianca Gallieni scored for Hills that day, but it was a 3-2 win for Sutherland. If you want more details about that game last year, oh, don't worry, I'll give them to you. As Buchanan can't get past the defense. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Actually, now I'm really sure. And now they get a closer look at Tamsin Buchanan. I think she is related to the other Buchanans in the NPL spaces. So that'd be Kaya, who's currently a defender at Mount Druitt Town Rangers, and Ella, who's former Young Matildas defender and currently at Western Sydney Wanderers. As Sutherland trying to establish possession in the centre circle. Forward switch, but perhaps lacking a bit of width, and it should be there for Buchanan to play. Neat pass to Gallieni. Donaldson can't link up with Chaberis. Having had a look, I think my pre-match formation guess of Hills, it was right with the back four, at least. I'm glad I was able to remember who the goalkeeper was. But maybe they're in something slightly different to when we saw them last against SD Raiders. As it's a good tackle from Chemaja, but Gallieni passing before Chaberis is ready. Chaberis will probably be glad, as they should hold that thought. Good interception from Chemaja and then brought down. So attacking free kick coming up for Hills United. And for Hills, they've scored, how's my maths on the fly, 23 goals this season. And the opening 7 games, certainly a very healthy tally for Alan Tass's side. And they've been known to start quickly this year. 5 of those goals have come in the opening 15 minutes of games. As Donaldson will contemplate what to do with the dead ball. And Donaldson looks to go direct, and it's in for Bella Donaldson. And it's a great start for Hills United. They've started in sensational fashion once again. Bella Donaldson from the free kick. Too much power for the keeper, and it's Sutherland 0, Hills United 1. And for Donaldson, picking the right time to open her account for the 2025 season, right in front of our cameras. Our filming position was right behind the dead ball, and some nice swerve on it, as Hills number 8 has put her side in front. So, actually, it's an early goal, quite similar to the last time we streamed a game between Sutherland and Hills. So last year, it was Georgie Lewis opening the scoring for Sutherland very early on. I think about the second minute in a 3-2 victory for Sutherland. This time, it's Bella Donaldson to open the scoring for the team in yellow. And yes, you know, daylight saving is over because it's not even 5 o'clock and the floodlights are on. But at least it's dry, which is the main thing. Buchanan making a foray down at the left-hand side, back to Chaberis. Good work to keep her balance. Switches it. And that's Glendenning. But Glendenning stopped by a good tackle from Grove. Anyway, we have already had one result come in because there was an earlier kickoff, a 2 p.m. kickoff. That was Ernie Smith, reserve. And as usual, when I do commentary for League One Women's, ball into middle towards Jess Wooten. Free header, flags up for offside. And that would be Alex Wajani, assistant on the far side as we see things. Here's Jeffrey Zhang. Jeffrey Zhang in the middle with the whistle. He actually came over to introduce himself to us before we got underway, which was nice of him. By the way, introducing himself to the commentator, Jeffrey Zhang, showing a bit more initiative than some members of the Football New South Wales media team, but that's my bugbear. I probably shouldn't label you with it right now, as it's a Sutherland throw right in front of Football New South Wales photographer Angela DePolpe, who's made the very, very, very long trip from the MacArthur region to do photography for us this afternoon. Now out wide with Wenda Dunstan, but it's Galliini. And two good tackles, finding Shaberis. There's the option to the left. Chemajar shouted for the ball, and Chemajar with a lovely finish and 2 goals inside the opening 10 minutes. It was a well-timed run from Ellen Chemajar, and that's her 5th goal of the season. Set up by Shaberis. And Sutherland 0, Hills United 2. There you go, Alan Tassis. You'd have to say whatever he drew up, whatever he planned this particular game, it's working so far. Decent raid down the right-hand side from Degnan before it is broken up. For Sutherland, heading into this game in 10th position out of the 13 teams, and there was the unfortunate news very close to round 1 that unfortunately Southeast Phoenix couldn't participate in the League 1 Women's Senior competitions for this year, which is very unfortunate. Very nice venue that they have down South Nowra Football Complex. I was fortunate enough to do commentary there 2 years ago, coincidentally, for a game against Hills United. Bit less of a trip for me today, as that is a decent run from De Brincat, but it's easy to collect for Nicola Simmons. Davidson providing the short option. Now she can drive and distribute. Nice ball to Wooten. Decent first touch, but it is a good tackle as well, and Sutherland very smart, because Jess Wooten scored 8 times for Hills United this season. I think there's at least 1 hat-trick in that 8-goal haul as well. It's a very dangerous player, scored a lot of goals in this competition over the years. Now, the switch, and it just, no, it's actually kept in well by McParland. McParland with the 1-2, getting it back from De Brincat. And De Brincat might have it broken up by Buchanan and Galliini as Donaldson works it back. But now, as Hills once again try to work it out through the back. This time, Brooke Hasty. And her straight ball is intercepted by Sutherland. Coombs. And, well, actually, that could be a loose pass. McParland stepped in, and Coombs again. Now Wilson. And Wilson is at least slowed down before Coombs. And then Sutherland actually a decent spell of possession, and Sutherland perhaps just trying to slow down that Hills momentum after those 2 goals in the opening 9 minutes. Now, there's Degnan breaking it up. Hills throw right in front of their own bench. Oh, yes. So complete the thing I was referring to earlier. There was a 2 p.m. kickoff at Ernie Smith Reserve, and for the time being, as of right now, SD Raiders are leading the comp. Yes. Oh no, I'm asking long-time League One Women's reporter Justin Davies just to give a bit of the live ladder, but I just realised I've asked him to do some mental arithmetic. I'm sorry to stress you too much, Justin. But I think, and I do know that SD Raiders, as that was played against Glendenning, SD Raiders defeated Nepean FC by 3-0. in the early game, and it's the three teams that are kind of setting the pace in the opening part of the season: Hills United, Marconi Stallions, and SD Raiders. As that's played out for a Hills throw. Now Plummer gets it back from a teammate. Decent ball to Galliini. Buchanan is the wide option. Good ball. And Buchanan delivers first time, takes a touch, and safe hands from Ariane Bacot. And there were Hills runners. Jess Wooten, as always, is making the dangerous run into the middle, but it is a good goalkeeping. By the way, before I forget, and long-time viewers of Football New South Wales streams will know my memory is absolutely terrible, but should probably mention the substitutes before they have a chance maybe to get on the field later on in the game. Sutherland looking to play out from the back once more, but for Sutherland, on the bench, Lily Warnes, Chloe Barley, Alicia Maunda, Ruby Rojas, Grace Considine, and there's a flight offside against Sutherland. The Brincat moving too early, but yes, Grace Considine, and also on the bench, a player one of my Twitter followers calls the Oyster Bay Express, and that is Kira Mukatas. So I can only assume that Kira Mukatas is quite quick. I do know that Mukatas leads Sutherland in the goal tally for this season with 4 goals. And I believe of those 4 goals scored by Mukatas, 2 of them were against the Spartans in that 4-0 win back in round 6. So, well done to you, Kira. As it's a decent switch, and Buchanan has a lot of room. Cross to the far post. Wooten could be up there. Decent header. Good save. Good save from Bacot. It can be difficult. You could see what Wooten was trying to do. With the keeper going one way to be in position to make the save. Wooten tried to head it back across where the keeper was running to kind of catch her wrong-footed, but Bacot has done well. And didn't fumble it. No chance of a rebound there. Now, that's a good pass to open it up for Sutherland. Here's Coombs. Turns past defender. Now Wilson. Right at midfield. Here's McParland. And I think it was Harrison who was the wide runner, sorry. And that will go out of play right in front of our filming position. And possibly right in front of a kid who said they wanted to get in the cameras today. Well, this is your lucky day, son. Buchanan back to the Hasty. Now, Davidson to Plummer. Davidson looking to drop one over the Sutherland formation is Chemazar. But Sutherland stand firm. By the way, the Hills bench and some of the players we could see later on in the game. Now, the backup keeper is one of the stars of the Australian women's national futsal team, Sarah Easthope. We've also got Helena Berridge, Zoe Murdoch, Monique Holder, Ellen Berrios, and former Sutherland player Gemma Woolley. As he is Hasty to Shiberis, and is outnumbered by light blue. Now, Galliini for Hills. Here's Donaldson, one of the goal scorers for Hills. If you've just joined us, we're about in the 18th minute mark here at Karela. It's Eric Subihanu here with the commentary from Harry Denning Centre, as there's a Sutherland clearance into the fence. Hills leading Sutherland by 2-0. It was a Bella Donaldson long-range free kick and a neat finish from Ellen Chemajar. That's why Hills are 2 goals to the good, and looking to, at this early stage, looking to keep their position as the League One women's leaders. There's the clearance, which I think Buchanan will just leave for Hasty. So I'm just going silent so I can write down the goals that have happened, because my memory is quite bad. Galliani, the touch that takes it backwards, but smart to keep possession, and heeds the shouts from her captain, Aisling Davidson, who will shoot from way out. I think it had a little bit of swerve on it. But in the end, good handling from Ariane Bacot. Aisling Davidson, well, always a threat at any attacking set pieces that Hills have. But now that's a good touch from Chemajar. Chance for three, possibly. Great saving tackle from Davis. It will be a corner. Hills' first corner of this game. Chemajar about to pull the trigger with the left foot that scored the second goal for Hills. It was good covering defending from Daisy Davis. There goes right on cue, Aisling Davidson, one of those players up from the back as Chemajar delivers. It was Davidson who got there first. Glendenning, I think, tried to keep it in play, but it only hits the big fence behind the goal. But hey, Glendenning perhaps a little bit off balance. She shouldn't feel bad about a cross hitting the big fence behind the goal. I mean, I've seen a player take corners from that side of the ground and send it straight into the trees. Isn't that right, Justin? Yes. Let's not shame that particular player, who's actually quite well known. But anyway, as a loose ball and good defending again to allow Bacot to fall on the ball. Now, behind me, Justin Davies just making notes for the League One Women's Round 9 review, which will be available later tonight on the Football New South Wales League's Facebook page. The other games in this round, so there was another 4:30 p.m. kickoff the other side of the bridge, St. George FC hosting Inter Lions. A couple of 5 p.m. kickoffs, so they'll be kicking off soon. As there's good defending from Wenda Dunstan. And she wins the throw. But yeah, 2 5 p.m. kickoffs in this competition. Bankstown City hosting Marconi Stallions and the Spartans hosting South Coast Flame. It was a washout, so the game between the Central Coast Mariners and Blacktown City will have to be replayed midweek sometime, and Camden Tigers had the bye this weekend. This is Donaldson. And now it breaks for DeBrincat. I think it was Wilson just holding it up. Now Coombs under pressure immediately. Now Sutherland looking to build. Hills slowly stepping forward to press. There's Wilson. Now Degnan. And that ball, the Brincat won't reach that ahead of Davidson. Now, if they can work it left, Buchanan's got a lot of space. Instead, they keep it central. It is sent back by Sutherland. Davidson will try again. Good distribution from Davidson. There's Glendenning. Gets past Degnan. Low cross is decent, but it will make its way to Hills. And Chaberas hits the bar. On the follow-up, who's that off last? Should be off Hills. As Chemajar claims otherwise. She wanted a corner. It will be a goal kick. And Chaberas. That was a run. That was as delicious as a bottle of Kinney. And she was inches away from making it 3-0 to Hills United. Now, long-range effort, and dipped into Bacot's gloves as Donaldson was not able to add to a tally for today's game. Hills pass it amongst the defenders once more. Here's Chemajar trying to find Glendenning. And Harrison is across first. Now work back. Now Hasty with plenty of time. Decent ball to Wooten. Now Galliini appears to be the leftmost of the Hills midfield, but is tucking inside when Hills get forward to create room for overlapping runs from the left back, who today is Tamsin Buchanan. But now it's Sutherland using the left-hand side of the field. It will be a throw-in. Now Simmons gets a touch, playing it to the captain, and yes, it's definitely the conditions that we're used to seeing when we watch Football New South Wales state competitions. It's a winter league, of course, and those floodlights very much useful. As there's the touch, and it's a decent ball to Wooden, and Jess Wooden almost gets an opportunity, but Bacot was sharp, off a line in a flash. And it's another good save from the Sutherland shot stopper. Now Hasty, that's good. Great footwork to get away from two players and secure the ball for Hills. Sutherland kind of happy to let the Hills centre backs have the ball. There's been plenty of touches already for Hasty and Davidson. And now it's a good intervention there. Firstly, from Harrison to break up the Hills attack, and then I think it was Wilson who's won the free kick. Now, if you are the multi-screening type, well, let me look my clock, yeah. So, there's 5 p.m. streams from the top division, NPL Women's, that we're bringing to you today, and if they're 5 p.m. kickoffs, traditional NPL lateness, 5:07 is about when they start, as a touch, and it goes through to Simmons. But yes, just a quick shout out to a couple of my fellow commentators. And this is one that I love, as one of those 5 p.m. streams. And if you're a long-time League One Women's listener, you'll probably recognize this woman's voice. But Melissa Muscat, whose day job is in teaching. So guess which game they gave her today? University of New South Wales versus Sydney University. That's absolutely perfect commentary allocation. And that'll be at the Village Green. The other 5 p.m. games, speaking of Maltese commentators, up at the Hunter Valley at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility, Ashley Borg's calling Newcastle Jets versus Gladesville Ravens. There's also Manly United versus RPL Leichhardt at Cromer Park, and Western Sydney Wanderers versus Bulls FC Academy at the ground which has the nickname the Rudy Hill Turf Farm. And it's a 3 p.m. NPL Women's kickoff as well, between 3 p.m. Sunday kickoff in NPL Women's. It's like the old days, but it was MacArthur. This matchup very much not like the old days, as MacArthur Rams hosting Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Very familiar, of course, to League One women's folk, Mount Druitt Town Rangers, as is Coombs playing it back to the defence. But Mount Druitt also leading the competition at in NPL Women's, their first time in the top tier after 8 rounds. Well done to everyone there. Now Sutherland trying to set camp in the Hills defensive third of the field before Donaldson gets a foot in there, and then it runs away from Sutherland. But yes, there was a 3 p.m. game, I believe, at Linwood Park between MacArthur and Mount Druitt. I believe the under-23s has been postponed. I think that's because MacArthur had a lot of call-ups to the Australia under-17 training camp, so the junior Matildas were in Canberra this week. I suspect that's what it was, as Degnan's got to be quick, And she does beat Glendenning to the ball, but it's going to be a Hills throw. The wind's getting stronger here at Harry Denning, as long as the rain doesn't come back. But here's Wooden looking for room. She's stopped by, well, a combination of 3 Sutherland defenders. Galliani leaves it for Wooden, spreads it left. Here's Buchanan, and she'll go direct for goal and almost. She saw a gap at the near post, but the ball swings wide. Sutherland trying the left, but it's Chemaja instead for Hills. Cutting inside and possibly looking for an option. She was crowded out. Now Buchanan keeping it alive. Galliani turns. Looks to cross it. Decent ball. Now Glendenning, and it's a corner. We'll flag things in advance just in case you're not familiar with my particular version of old man blindness, but when the ball's kind of on the far side of the field, trust me, I am trying my best. Well, could be worse. Could be at Northbridge Oval now. Corner kick for Hills. Plenty of Hills players at the edge of the box before they make their runs. Up towards Davidson, who gets some kind of a touch on it. Second chance to cross, and it's drilled, and a good punch from Bacot. And a punch that Katie Taylor would have been proud of there. Rising over the pack. And then she presented, Bacot prevented the shooting opportunity, or the opportunity for a header off the cross. And then, as that shepherded over the goal line, her teammates helped her out by clearing the ball. Now past the half-hour mark here in Kareela. It's Sutherland Strikers 0, Hills United 2. In the League One Women's match of the round for round 9, Hills leading via goals from Bella Donaldson and Ellen Chemaja. As Wenda Dunstan shields it back to the defence. It's cleared, but only as far as Hasty. Now Plummer. Good work from Glendenning. Now Davidson tries to stand it up for Wooden. Now a long-range effort coming up. That was Chemaja with the shot that was blocked. Here's Wooden. And Wooden, that's a lovely tackle from Davis. Kept alive by Hills. Wooden stopped again. And Davis, I think that was again with a very nice tackle. Hills keeping it on the far side of the field, testing both the left side of the Sutherland defence and my eyesight, but Sutherland doing well to prevent the cross. Work back as the wind gets stronger once again. Just looking at the halfway flag in front of us, as there's a decent diagonal which holds up in that wind, but Buchanan does get the first touch anyway. And Buchanan back to Hasty. And then just the wind It's slightly favouring Sutherland, I think, in the first half, but it is kind of going very much across the field as well. Flags up, and Bianca Gallieni caught offside there. Now, decent first touch from McParlin. Now, DeBrincat. Played back. Here's Wilson. They're bringing Degnan into the play. It's Carrington Window. And Coombs turns away from Chaberis' pressure, but it's good discipline from Hills. You can see why they've only conceded 2 goals in their opening 7 games. Proving very hard to break down, but that's more decent passing. Wenda Dunstan will take on Buchanan. And Sutherland at least doing well to keep the ball. Hill's not offering a way through. Gallieni to put the pressure on, and she's forced to the off-target pass. Buchanan, decent length on the throw. Chemajar did well to get the flick on, but no runner to meet said flick on. Here's Wilson. Forward, and then Davidson prods it away. Now looking for Gallieni, and Southern should get there first. They do, while conceding a throw-in. Now Gallieni zings it low into the middle. It's a decent clearance, and then Chemajar's dipping, but not in time. And Chemajar has been sharp today, as we saw for Hill's second goal. And she picked up on the half clearance and sent it straight back towards goal. It just got a foot a little bit too much under the ball. Sutherland playing out once more with Davis, but she's played it. Actually, no, she's been brought down, so that'll be a Sutherland free kick. Now, a brief bit of self-promotion, because next weekend's League One Women's Match of the Round, Sunday 4th of May, and it's at the Palace, Marconi Stadium, and the 2 teams that are in hot pursuit of Hills United at the top of this division face off. Marconi Stallions hosting SD Raiders, so it's a big game in this division. It's also a local derby, of course, as that's off the back of, I think it was Grove. But yes, as things stand, with the commentary roster, I will be at the Palace to call Marconi versus SD Raiders in 7 days' time. So that'll be a good one to tune in. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff between Marconi and SD Raiders on Sunday, the 4th of May. Now, approaching halftime, and that's a little bit too much enthusiasm. That challenge, and Chaberis has won the free kick. Now, looks like Hills are just going to go direct, and Davidson, actually a decent aerial target, is going to be the one taking it instead. Doesn't put enough weight on it. Now, it'll go to Donaldson, and then back to Davidson. Now Plummer. Gallieni calls for the switch. Instead, Hills keep it at the back, and Gallieni still in space, but they'll try the other side, where I think it's Degnan stepping in. And Davis to Wilson. Now, bit of space for DeBrincat, and the overlapping run already coming from Wenda Dunstan, as she tries to take the initiative. Galliani chasing back in defence. Now Coombs. And it's forward by Harrison. Buchanan tries to step in, needs to be alert. Sutherland have done well. Keep it alive with McParland. And Wenda Dunstan past a challenge. Looking for options in the middle, but Chemajar stealing in, snuffing out the attack. As Simmons provides the pass-back option. And another gust of wind blows through Karela. And it's Davidson. And the ball forward, not reeled in by a teammate, but Galliani's going to chase this. And almost a very nice first touch at a really awkward height from Chemajar, but the ball is with Sutherland once more. Here's Buchanan, who's dispossessed. McParland. By the way, there's Davidson going long, and Galliani takes a tumble. Perhaps not quite the decision Hills would have wanted, but they will have the throw-in. That's a nice ball. Chaberis finding Galliani with space. Buchanan charging forward once more. Now, what's the decision? Cuts past the defender. Then Buchanan crosses, but it's going to be out of reach and out for a goal kick. So you look ahead for Sutherland. I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were starting the season in about 700-degree temperatures. As it's worked back to the keeper, and then Sutherland do keep it away from that initial press at least. For Chemajawa, who's too physical in the challenge against Carrington Window. Yes, we're looking at Sutherland ahead to complete the first half of the season. They're away to Interlions in 7 days' time. I believe that's at Majors Bay Reserve. Back at home in round 11 to host South Coast Flame. And away to Blacktown City in round 12. And they complete the first half of the season by hosting Bankstown City. As Davidson waits for it to get to a comfortable height. And pretty unflustered, the Hills captain, despite De Brinkat's pressure. And I think we're going to have to stop this one here, as that is a very, very sore one. I think that's Hasty. Oh no, that's Bella Donaldson. My apologies. Looks to have caught one right to the face, and we do need to take head injury seriously. Any hint of a head injury. So, Bella Donaldson. Well, it's good to see she's able to sit up. And in fact, we might not even need the physio, so that's good. It's not looks like she didn't cop it in the face then. But she's looking a bit uncomfortable, but Bella Donaldson, a tough character, will continue. And so, uncontested drop ball. Now, Sutherland sharp enough to win it back, and they fire it towards De Brinkat. Took an awkward bounce just in front of her, and they keep the move going. Now McParland possibly with something to chase, but there's good positioning from Buchanan. Now Hasty looks to switch it, and it's out of reach. Wenda Dunstan gets it back off a teammate, and then Hasty can't flick it towards another Hills player, but before Chemajar plays it into Coombs. Now Wilson can try and settle it for the hosts. It'd been decent in the opening 45 minutes, about to come to a close. Hills with a very, very fast start once again. That's now 7 goals in the opening 15 minutes of games that they've scored this season. That'll please Alan Tassis and the Hills coaching staff. Now, Shaberis, spectacular effort, but I think she was offside, and the officials agree. So, Sutherland aim left. Now Wilson Hill's backing off a little bit against the Sutherland number 6 to let Wilson turn. Now, this is an unfortunate one. We've all been there. As Wenda Dunstan trips on the ball. Gives the chance to Gallieni. Now Wooden. And Wooden, bit of a deflection off the defender. Keeps it. Back to Gallieni. Across the box. I think that's Chemajar. And now Wooden from range, but she's aimed at too high. Goal kick. Now, Shaberis around the back and to the byline. Can she find a teammate? No, it's behind the 2 runners who are charged into the 6-yard box. And then another Hills throw as we are about to, by my stopwatch, we are now in first half stoppage time. How much stoppage time? I don't know. But there's no 4th official. Big mid-90s football viewing experience here. And for you younger viewers, it always used to be like this because there never used to be a 4th official, or at least there never used to be official who would indicate time added on. There's Donaldson out on the far side. That's Glendenning with a strong run, and she's won a free kick. It's almost the last chance before the break, possibly for Hills United to add another goal. In fact, it's going to be a card as well. And with my failing eyesight, you're on your own, Justin Davies. Oh, thank you to Ross, our camera operator, holding up an appropriate number of fingers. So we reckon that's a yellow card to number 5, Rosie Degnan. Yes, Justin needs such details for his match report. And so Rosie Degnan, first play into Jeffrey Jang's notebook right at the end of the opening period. Here we go. Set piece, and Sutherland strong at the front post before Chemajar unleashes and scores. Oh, once again, she's anticipated the rebound, and it's literally the last kick of the first half to make it 3-0 to Hills United. Chemajar picked up the scraps, low through the crowd. Keeper had no chance, and there it is. Half-time in the League One Women's Match of the Round for Round 9. It's Sutherland Strikers 0, Hills United 3. As we just saw, a long-range strike from Ellen Chemajar. That was one of the goals. Bella Donaldson opened the scoring in the 6th minute with a lovely long-range free kick. And Chemajar made it 2-0 in the 9th minute after being set up by Isabella Shaberis. Eric Subihano on the mic here at Harry Denning Centre. And as the local kids get a run out on this main hybrid field, we will take a short break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. let's see. First question. The Lena Karmas Derby. What happened? Apparently Dale said it turned into that old English shin kicking sport they used to have. I'm like, so basically, Holly Williams is the winner and everyone else is dead? Is that...
I was about to say,
there's only one winner of that. Sorry, Lena, it won't be you.
I think Lena knows it would be her.
You're like, she's too experienced.
Yeah.
She knows the battle she can't win. Like, there's Ash good. Go on, hurry up, Ash. Get on with it. Score some more goals.
They're similar. It's so similar to teams. I'm like, I just thought to myself, besides their actual form, one team's terrible, one at least decent.
It's not my fault. Yeah, they're not similar. They're not.
They are not.
One. Oh yeah, you know why they're not similar? Because NSW didn't steal a Sapphire Cup semi-final place off Hills United. That's why they're not similar. Hope the mic's still hot. Fucking cross the line.
You'd never let that one go.
No, why would I?
No.
Hey, that forms part of the basis for getting complaints from both teams in the same game. That's it. I'm a high achiever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume this is Foster. Yep, okay, that's all I need to know. Oh my god, late Mount Druitt winner. Oh, well, late, I think. Oh, that's rough for the kids. There's the kick. Oh, well, there we go. Fuck, I should have been more public with that prediction. My prediction came true. Mount Druitt top of the table when the dub window opens. Why didn't I tell more people this? Oh, well.
Rare time you haven't told more people.
Because I think it's funnier when my predictions go wrong, like the Hills formation. That's a honk. Well, got 3 players. welcome back to the second half of our coverage. League One Women's Match of the Round for round 9. And Harry Jennings Centre is a lovely sight under the floodlights. And the score as it stands, also a very nice sight for the visitors. League leaders Hills United leading by 3-0. So we're about to get the second period underway. Double from Ellen Chemajar, who's one of the many off-season acquisitions made by Hills coach Alan Tassis. And the other goal has come as we just wait to see how this attack goes. The other goal has come from Bella Donaldson. I do like to go around the grounds here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. So I have been furiously using the YouTube app to see how the games from the top tier are going in the games in NPL Women's New South Wales, as Wooten finds a pocket of space and Shabaris is quick, gets to it first. Great save. That's a wonderful save from Bacot. Shabaris is looking a little bit sore, but might want to get up to participate in this attack as Glendenning delivers, and it is cleared. But there was a full-time score in League One Women's, in case you missed it. SD Raiders defeating the PNFC by 3-0 earlier today, as that is going to be a Hills United corner. Also, just briefly, there's also a full-time score in NPL Women's for today, as an old friend came back to Linwood Park and haunted MacArthur Rams in the strongest possible way. Lena Karmas with a 92nd minute winner to give Mount Druitt Town Rangers a 2-1 win over MacArthur. There's the signal. Delivered. Davidson is up there, but Sutherland get there first. Now Plummer dinks it in, and it's the header from Davis, I think. And it is McParland who can't keep it in play. So it has occurred to me now, long time followers of my commentary will know my sworn enemy is the halftime sub, especially when the technical area is on the opposite side of the field. I think Hills are as they were to begin the game, and Justin Davies has confirmed that, so if that ends up being wrong, blame Justin. But I'm just checking Sutherland, but as is Justin, of course, to track the subs for his match report, which you'll be able to see later tonight, which forms part of the review for League One Women's Round 9. That'll be on the Football New South Wales socials. Header, I think, from Galliini. Now delivered, but a little bit of a slice clearance still. Hills, I think that's Chemajar. And now Plummer off the heel. Davidson goes from long range, and it's, well, the fans got a little bit interested because it was the momentum was dying, but you have to say Bacot, who's been good despite conceding 3 goals. Ariane Bacot's been good in the Sutherland goal, but she seemed pretty confident that that long-range effort from Davidson was going over the bar. So as Hills marshal the ball again, I think we might just give a reminder of the lineup for the visitors out there today. It's Nicola Simmons in goal for Hills. 4 at the back from left to right to be number 15, Tamsin Buchanan, number 6, Brooke Hasty, number 3, Hills captain Aisling Davidson, and number 5, Rani Plummer. Galliini winds up and crosses. Header from Chemajar. Could be a flick on inadvertently for Glendenning, but Bacot is there. So yes, the rest of that Hills formation in midfield. Bella Donaldson, number 8, is one of the deepest players and just in front of Donaldson. It's a pretty fluid look as Chemajar and now Degnan to partly clear, but it is Bella Donaldson is the deepest Hills midfielder. You got Donaldson's number 8. You got Bianca Galliini, number 10, who's on the left of midfield for Hills. Number 17, Rachel Glendenning on the right of midfield. The 2 attacking midfielders, as I see things, are, well, it's actually a pretty fluid look because between them, number 14, Ellen Chemajar, number 12, Jess Wooden, and number 11, Isabella Chaberas appear to be swapping positions quite a bit. In fact, while Hills At least the previous times they've seen there were more were playing with the one striker. They might even be playing with two strikers at times today. Whether that two out of some combination out of Chemaja, Wooten and Shabaris would be the two up front for them. As Hills win it back. Chemaja, sharp turn, heeds the shouts. Now Hills attacking the left side of the box as it's low and also cleared. Well, we've got a tip for you, Justin. Sutherland have made a sub at halftime. And and as that handball shout, a couple of plays from Hills appealing, but it's ignored. We should have checked the timetables at halftime, Justin, because the Oyster Bay Express has left the station. Number 26, Kira Mukatas, is on. And 4 goals already for Mukatas this season, and very good option for Hanif Fadani to bring off the bench for Sutherland. Now, who's the player that's been withdrawn? Well, you'll find out at the same time I do. As Buchanan with the long throw. Sutherland strong in the air. That's a good tackle. I think that's Hasty. The long sleeves are giving it away. Hasty back to the other central defender, who's Davidson. Davidson bounces it off Glendenning, and now Hasty in central defence, looking left towards Gallieni. Gallieni one-on-one on the far side. Decent ball into the middle. Here's Chemaja. Now Davidson stepping up from centre back. Tries to feed it and finds Wooden. Now Donaldson. It takes a bounce off Sutto. And now into the middle, there's a flick on by Hills, but into Arian Bacot's gloves. Bacot tries the distribution. It might have been a little bit affected by the wind. Got away from Degnan. Now Glendenning slipping the ball to Wooten. And now, couldn't find Chemaja. Wooden will shield the ball. And the decision has gone against Hill. Sorry, not against. It's gone in favour of Hills. Central free kick, about 30 yards out. So Bacot's got to set the wall, and I think Jess Wooden looking very interested in this dead ball situation. That is Wooden, isn't it, Justin? Yes, thanks, Justin. Three players in the wall. Wooden, will she go direct? She does, and it's a lovely save from Bacot, plunging to her right. Sutherland to complete the clearance. Could have been 4. Hills have already scored with a free kick today. Wooden with a bending, dipping effort, which was denied very well. Briefly, as we go, as I said, we do love to go around the grounds. Also, there were 2 NPL women's games yesterday. Both ended up in 5-1 victories for the home side. So firstly at the Arctic Circle, which Sutherland defending once more in the box. And I think brief isolated appeals, but Sutherland will come away with it. But at the Arctic Circle yesterday, there was a Sky Halmar wrecking job for Spirit, as Sky Halmaric scored a hat-trick in a 5-1 win for Spirit over Olympic. That goes straight to Davidson. She cushions it nicely for Rani Plummer. And then, in frankly awful conditions at North Taramara Recreation Area last night, a 5-1 win for Northern Tigers over Illawarra Stingrays. And I hope that by now the commentator for that game, Annabelle Banfield, has dried out, because it did not look nice there at North Taramara last night. Oh, by the way, Annabelle Banfield, linking it back to this competition, she used to play in this competition for Interlions. And is she my favourite Interlions player of all time? Not quite, but that's another story. As it's Hills, and they can't quite settle it. I'm still working on figuring out who Kira Mukatas replaced for Sutherland. So is Justin. Well, you know, it's probably harsh to say it's the blind leading the blind here tonight. Probably not inaccurate, though. I'm trying my best, people. Cross from the left by Buchanan, and it's allowed to bounce, and then it just wouldn't, with a handball that even I could see. but also going around the grounds. So scores in progress. At least this was the last time I checked the stream. So it was 1-1 in the Battle of the Students. 1-1 between UNSW and Sydney University. The game being called by the Professor Melissa Muscat. Manly United leading by a 1-0 against RPL Leichhardt. It's 2 goals in 2 weeks for Grace Arnold there. Bulls FC Academy leading Western Sydney Wanderers by 2-0. There's a shot and takes a hop. Bacot, very nice handling. That can be very, very awkward for a keeper when the ball bounces just in front of them. It's another good save for Bacot. But yes, and that other score, it's speaking of terrible conditions, well, it is it's a bad day to be on a wobbly scissor lift, but our friend Ashley Borg is a lot braver than I am, because it is absolutely awful at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. And actually, you know what? I forgot to look at the score. I was too taken by the conditions. I think the Ravens are beating the Jets, but I mean, to be honest, just if you're curious, look at the stream and just be thankful you're not the one on that dodgy scissor lift. Mamma mia. As Grove can't quite keep it in play. Oh, now that the players are on this side of the field, this is my best chance to actually check the shirt numbers. As that's going to be cleared. Oh, that almost hit that unsecured VO pole. I'm very glad that it didn't. Yikes. Actually, I was near an unsecured VO pole yesterday, calling SD Raiders the League One men's match of the round between SD Raiders and Bulls FC Academy. So, yeah, as someone who... A bit of an irritation for mine. I have read that part of the competition regs, but anyway, it's just maybe there can be some kind of grant. Someone can sign some kind of grant to get the club some sandbags or something like that, as it's lobbed into the middle, and that's easy for Bacot. Now, I mean, I don't mind a guess that immediately proves out to be wrong. I'm suspecting that Charlie DeBrincat is the player withdrawn for Sutherland, as Hills with the shot. I think that was Wooden, and again, it's gathered nicely and cleanly by Bacot. Hasty, positioned perfectly, stopping the through ball. Now, shielded by Shaberis, has a runner ahead of her, pokes it through. Here's Jess Wooden, and Jess Wooden has side-footed it wide. And we thought, given her record in this competition, that was going to be 4. The shot off target, and the score stays at 3-0. It has occurred to me, as we're still not 100% on whatever sub Sutherland made at half-time, has occurred to me, there'll be more subs coming soon, Justin. So, yeah, we're going to have fun figuring this out together, as that's excellent defending from Degnan. Got her body in front of Glendenning. By the way, as Davidson passed the torso, Shaberis couldn't gather. Otherwise, I see Rachel Glendenning, and how's this for an obscure reference? I do wonder if Rachel Glendenning's junior club is Doonside Hawks. And to be honest, if even one viewer gets that reference, I'll be impressed. No, I will not explain it for you. It's not worth it, trust me. As Davidson, and now Hasty. Davidson again. Switching left, here's Buchanan. And by the way, got some bad news for you, Justin. Looks like Sutherland preparing a double sub. Now, Shaberis, okay, there's no 26 on there. Well, Justin, you wear glasses and I don't, but we'll discuss that. As Glendenning crosses, and it's saved before the rebound is put in, and it is 4 to Hills United. They finish at the far post. And to be honest, apologies, I can't see. I reckon Ellen Chemajar scored a hat-trick. We might need to ask Alan Tassis after the game to confirm that. But for now, or even, I might even try and... Okay. So did I read the timetable wrong? Did the Oyster Bay Express not come on? Anyway, it looks like there's going to be... Oh, great. It's a double sub. Well, it's... It's a triple sub. Okay, that's just wonderful. For Sutherland, okay, thanks, Hannah. But, Hannah Ferdani ringing the changes. It is 4-0 to Hills United, we know that. We think Ellen Chamazar scored a hat-trick. And I think as the officials just take note of this triple change for Sutherland. Now the hosts continue. So we can see a number 45, that's Grace Constantine, on the field. And yes, we'll work the rest of that out for you. Well, maybe. Now that, well, there's a collision there, and yep, that's going to be a Hills free kick. Well, those of you that are familiar with my commentary know I can struggle to do one thing at a time. Nevertheless, I am going to try and look at the stream to see who scored the fourth goal for Hills, as Plummer was caught on the back foot. And it's a strong run from Amelie Grove. That's the chance for Sutherland to attack. Davidson, the captain, gets in the way. Now Glendenning. Wooden bounces a pass off Sutherland, and Donaldson has to be quick here. Back to the centre backs. Davidson showing, well, she can play in midfield, and she has shown it with her distribution and with some of the touches. Very assured on the ball. Now, one for Buchanan to chase. And is defended there on the far side. Now Galliini, and that, watch that Sutherland play. Yep, I think that's hit her in the head. Yeah. Okay, so apologies everyone. I did read the. Well, we can argue this. I still think that player was on at halftime. But look, okay, at least Justin and I can agree for once. And well, Kira Mukatas definitely on the field now. Yes. And double sub for Hills. Well, okay. So leaving the field, Rachel Glendenning and Isabella Chaberis. Coming on. Now, going off height, I reckon Gemma Woolley's one of the players, but I'm not at all confident. I reckon Gemma Woolley and Monique Holder are coming on for Hills. So that would be... Yeah, that's Woolley. I see a number 7 and a number 25. Hey! There you go. There's a lesson for you, all you clubs out there. Dark numbers on lightly coloured jerseys, or the other way around. Thank you, Hills United. But yes, Gemma Woolley at a ground very familiar to her. She played the second half of last season with Hills United. She played the second half of the season with Sutherland Strikers. Scored in front of our cameras when Sutherland defeated Nepean by 3-0. And now Sutherland have stolen it. Number 4. That's Hills getting bodies in the way and also winning the free kick. The wind blowing once again. So Monique Holder, so yet another Hills player with a sister at Mount Druitt. Monique got sisters with Claire Holder, who, if you keep a close eye on NPL New South Wales socials, scored a stunning free kick when Mount Druitt defeated Apia a few weeks ago. As here's the cross, and straight at Picot. To be honest, I reckon the way this is going, Justin Davies is going to have to look at dribble to complete his match report, as that is a giant throw. And hopefully the next time that happens, Sutherland forward's a bit more alive to it, because that's absolutely launched from the penalty box. Now here's Holder, nice turn to Woolley, the two subs combining. Woolley plays it out wide, and there's a reason that player was in a lot of space. They were offside. Now, I still continue to look back on the stream, and I did remember to mute my phone, to turn the volume on my phone down, because the last thing the people around me need is to hear my voice twice. Also, I'm getting a call for some reason. Yeah, not likely, champ. But, because I don't even answer phone calls from people I know. Why would I answer rando numbers? That's touch off Sutherland. Hills advance it down the left-hand side of the field. Now one to chase. Woolley leaves it. I think that's Chemajar looking for the cutback to Woolley. Good defending. And now here's Woolley. Through ball. And the shot is in. And it is 5. Gemma Woolley off the bench. She set one up. And as I look it in, well, if Ellen Chemazar didn't score a hat-trick before now, she definitely has. Once again, it's her left foot that beats the Sutherland keeper, and it's a great day in Sutherland Shire for the women of the Hills. They're going to stay at the top of the table in all likelihoods. Hills United leading 5-0 over Sutherland. Okay, my apologies. The 4th goal I've just seen scored by Jess Wooten, Justin. So yeah, well, apologies, Jess. I've absolutely butchered that call of your goal. Looks like I've just got to ask for more Hills United games so I can remedy that the next time. Well, I can't ask for that game because Pete Pryor's got that. Thanks. What, you want me to steal a game at Plume Park off the voice of Central Coast football, Justin? How dare you? No. Anyway, Hills free kick. And Holder was closest to it. There's a touch. And there we go. I think that's Chemazar again. What a free kick. Chemazar escaped the defence. It is 6 for Hills United. Alan Chemazar, I've got to update my notes because she's now on 8 goals for the season. It's the same tally with which Jess Wooten started this evening's fixture. We're pretty confident Jess has scored as there's another double sub coming up. And I am grateful to Alan Tassis for having a voice that carries, because I can tell that Rani Plummer is one of the players to be withdrawn. I think it is Bianca Galliani is the other player. So, coming on, if Rani Plummer is being withdrawn as a defender, that means either Helena Berich or Zoe Murdoch will be coming on. Now I think Ellen Berrios is the other player to come on, Justin. But yes, see number 13, so Helena Berich will replace Rani Plummer at right back, and I think Ellen Berrios has been subbed on to go into the Hills attack. Berich driving straight into the thick of things. Holder. Now Berich. And Berich stands up. Woolley allowed to bring it down. And Woolley. Now Chemajar a little bit off balance, but that might spin and stay in for a teammate. Now here's Woolley. And Woolley still trying to get the shot away. Now there's the shot. And it's saved. Very good save. Plunging low to her left. Bacot does well again. Now, one thing I hadn't accounted for with this venue, I've got to write my own notes in the dark. Well, thankfully, if you've ever seen my handwriting, it looks like I write blindfolded, so nothing changes there. But now it's a booming clearance and just what Sutherland needed, because there's been a lot of pressure and they can step up. And now Nicola Simmons gets a touch. Here's Davidson. Davidson finds Woolley, who's allowed to bring it down. Now the support is coming as Holder tries to play the through ball. Stopped on the edge of the box, but then energetic work, and Chemazar, well, she's not gotten less hungry as the game has gone on, that's for sure. She'll be pleasing to all the Hills United folk who've made the long, incredibly long trip from the Hillshire to Sutherland for today's game. Caught there by Bacot. And as it's worked back to the keeper. And then Hills playing out from the back. So I'm still, by the way, trying to make sure I got call the 5th and 6th goals correctly. As it's a run from Wooten down the right side. Goes kind of between her teammates all the way out. And there's the shot. I think that was Barrios. Easy gather. Well, Ellen Barrios. Good option to bring off the bench for Hills. A lot of experience with this in this competition. Both at scored more than a few goals, both at Hills United and at her previous club, Nepean FC. Wait, Justin, the Hills player used to play for Nepean? Really? What are the odds? It's like next thing you'll tell me next thing you'll be telling me there's St George FC players who used to play for Sutherland. Anyway, let's. Hills keep it on the left-hand side. They've perhaps to the detriment of my credibility as a commentator, they've kept it as far away from me as they possibly can. Hills. As a cross. Well, that could. Ooh, well, it was only Wooten in the middle. Do wonder if that was an ambitious long-range effort. I suppose why not when your team's 6-0 up? But that's going to be the 5th and final sub. So this will be Zoe Murdoch, and it's going to be an early mark for the Hills captain, Aisling Davidson. Another good performance in the center of the field. She gets a breather. So Zoe Murdoch, number 33, taking over from number 3. So similar to what happened to the Red Bull Formula 1 team a couple of years ago. It's Zoe Murdoch on for Aisling Davidson. Now, Chimiza drills it into a defender. That was a good block. There's Abby Maunder, Alicia Maunder, one of the Sutherland subs trying to get involved. Buchanan was strong. And then it's Barrios, I think, judging by the shouts from the Hills keeper Simmons. The run results in the throw-in, and Buchanan, it's her latest chance to do her best Megan Campbell impersonation. Flick on from Holder. Here's Woolley, shoots. It's a defender. Now, back to Woolley. And Woolley, decent effort, straight at the keeper. And all the keepers out there know, well, if a shot goes straight at you, it means you are well positioned. So, if a lot of shots go straight at you, it means your positioning is usually pretty good. And that's what we saw from Bacot that time. Hasty, strong in the duel on the ground. Now Barrios. Decent ball, releasing Buchanan once more. Cut back. Here's Barrios. Can't beat the player, and it's very determined work from Sutherland. Now, this could be a moment as it might open up, but then Shemajar, who's defended incredibly despite her multiple goal haul today, she's also done a lot of defending and breaking up Sutherland passing moves. And it will be a Hills free kick. Now long range and almost came off the post or the keeper's foot, and then the keeper's been beaten to the ball by Chemajar, and after all that, corner kick. Now, only about 10 minutes late to confirm this one, so I am going through the stream to make sure I've got it right. Chemajar delivers the corner, and that didn't quite wrap a foot around it, so straight out for a goal kick. So, of course, if you've just joined us, joys of YouTube streaming, you can click back on the stream and see what you've missed, but I've got details of at least the first 5 goals for you. It is currently 6-0 to Hills United, but Belle Donaldson opened the scoring in the 6th minute with a long-range free kick. In the 9th minute, Ellen Chemajar scored the first of her goals to make it 2-0, set up nicely by Isabella Chaberas, and with the literal last kick of the first half, Chemajar scored once again to make it 3-0. Jess Wooden made it 4-0 in the 59th minute, and then Chemajar completed her hat-trick in the 65th minute. Those are the first 5 goal scorers, as Murdoch doesn't like what's in front of her. Back to Simmons. Now, Hills have made their full complement of substitutes, so, I mean, keeper subs generally an unexpected thing as Woolley puts the pressure on. Of course, that does mean we will not see Drua Warriors Futsal Club legend Sarah Easthope out there this evening, but some nice news in the last couple of weeks via the Football Australia socials, because Sarah Easthope has gotten another call up as Chemajar tries to break in the left side of the box, lays it off, and here's Holder, and Monique Holder makes it 7. Well, there it is. Substitute making an impact. And that is brilliant. Chemajar setting it up. A left foot strike. Thundered into the bottom corner. And Sutherland 0, Hills United 7. Oh, someone's watching the stream. Oh no, I don't want to hear my own voice. Come on, mute your phone, please. As Chemajar dropping deep. Here's Berridge. Back to Murdoch. And completing that thought, yes, congratulations to Sarah Easthope and the rest of the Australian women's national futsal team. They're off, I reckon they'll be off to China this week, because Australia's debut participation in the Women's Futsal Asian Cup starts, I think it's 6th or 8th of May, and they're in China, actually going to the Inner Mongolia part of China, so and possibly might even be the first Australian national team to visit that particular part of that country, as that's going to be a foul throw called against Degnan. Now, just trying to rack my brain for potentially other League One women's connections to the Aussie women's national futsal team, or as I like to call them, the Futsal Matildas. Which the Trudy Camilleri, who was in this division last year with Mount Druitt Town Rangers. She's since made the switch to the University of New South Wales in the top tier. And yes, it's a wonderful thing. Finally, we have a women's counterpart to the Futsal Roos. And can I just say, Justin, took the National Federation long enough, didn't it? Now, it's Berrios, and the ball too fast too far ahead of Woolley. And can I say, a game at the hybrid pitch at Harry Denning Centre, 79th minute for a ball to be kicked over the fence on the far side, that's got to be some kind of record. Normally that happens in like the first 5 minutes. So there's also a downward slope on the other side. So all the best to the volunteer that has to find that match ball after the game. I'm just racking my brain. What do you think, Dustin, what do you think the worst venue is to collect stray balls from? There's some shockers, I know that. Of course, there's the dam behind one of the goals at Valentine Sports Park. That's always fun. As I go on another wild tangent, because Courtney Vine used to be Valentine Sports Park venue stuff. You know her, Courtney Vine, winning penalty against France at the World Cup. Do you reckon she's ever had to retrieve a ball from that dam? Yes. Oh, well. Now, I do have another around the ground. Can go around the grounds again. It's not from this competition, but I'm going to do it anyway at a break and play as Murdoch tries to put one over for Berridge, and Degnan plays it over the sideline. And I thought I heard a double touch, yeah, so it's Degnan's actually played it off her opponent, but yeah. Full time in the A-League Women Elimination Final at Hindmarsh Stadium. And it's a 1-0 victory to Adelaide United. The winning goal in the first half from Matilda McNamara. My favourite Matilda in more ways than one has, well, I mean, has scored the goal, and the Reds, Adelaide United, setting up an A-League Women 2-leg semi-final with Melbourne victory. Oof. Now, here's Holder, decent through ball. And the shot, and it's going to be wide. Couldn't quite wrap her left foot around it. I think that was Berrios. Now, of course, Matilda McNamara of Adelaide, very vaguely related to the Women's New South Wales State competitions. The real ones remember her brief stint at Sydney Olympic, where she, gosh, Matilda McNamara playing at Petermore Field. Good Lord. What? And it sounds odd, but I did see it. By the way, as Nicola Simmons, the Hills keeper, she's only a few minutes away from honouring the legacy of her predecessor Sarah Easthope by keeping yet another clean sheet. It's pretty close to 6 clean sheets in 8 games for Nicola Simmons. But one of her old clubs, Manly United, also doing quite well in that respect. A few of my Northern Beaches football contacts can tell they've kept clean sheets in Girls Youth League under-16s, under-18s, and Women's under-23s today. So, yes. And that first grade game currently in progress. Now, chance for Sutherland to break, and the support is coming. Strong run, but it's marshalled back to the keeper. And Simmons gets another touch. Berridge chases it. Davis gets there first. Now, Grove. That's nice from the strikers. Room for Coombs. I think that's Wenda Dunstan. I think. My apologies, might be wrong there. But the ball broken up by Buchanan, and then Simmons, confident shout, telling her teammates to leave the ball. Hasty going long, good movement from Monique Holder, one of the goal scorers, getting the jump on a marker, but a loose pass. Hasty steps past a couple of challenges before the Sutherland attempted pass was broken up by Donaldson, who was very smart there. One of the key tasks of a defensive midfielder, covering for one of your centre-backs when they step forward. And also Gore defending work in midfield there from Coombs for Sutherland. Now Harrison can't find a teammate, and it's Woolley near halfway on the far side. Berrios. That's a good run. That's Buchanan, who might need to wait for the support. Buchanan does find the room to get across in. Bacot catches the ball. There you go, and then good protection there as well, so Bacot can take over. Sutherland substitution, more admin work for Justin Davies to do. And Chloe Barley, number 21, is on the field now. Okay, well, there it is. I finally had a proper look at all 7 goals, and probably not before time as we look at the stopwatch. Here we go in the 88th minute. But there's Sutherland, decent attack, and well, they've won a corner. Again, as the teams almost taunt me by continuing to use the far side of the field, whether it's Hills or Sutherland. That was a nice break down the right. I think that's, by my tally, that's Sutherland's first corner of the game. Just confirming 4 for Chemajar. Well, we'll have to talk to Alan after the game, but I'm pretty confident Ellen Rosenberg Chemajar scored 4 times. But Hills can't think about that yet. There's still a clean sheet for them to try and keep. Here we go. It's decent, and then strong clearance, whereas I think it was Donaldson who kind of couldn't reel it in. Another cross come in, and there's the volley. It is a goal kick, and you know what? That's the appreciation shown there from the Sutherland coaching staff, because Sutherland did well in that set piece despite the off-target shot. Because they, after the initial corner, they recycled the ball and ended up working a shooting opportunity. And meanwhile, Justin Davies, as is his usual way, in around the 90th minute, is going to pack up his stuff and get ready to get some quotes from the coaches for his match report. Now, Buchanan, well, she's been full of running. One of the best for Hills today. Always providing an option down that left-hand side is Berrios with the quick feet. Now, it's going to be too long for all of her teammates. We are in the 90th minute now at Harry Denning. This game kicking off a bit earlier than the other stream games in this competition. Oh, sorry, in the other stream games of Football New South Wales. All the other streams currently in progress from the women's top tier, NPL Women's. But as Woolley assesses the options, kind of almost overruns it, but keeps hold of it. Now Woolley, left-footed shot, and it's over. Hits the fence behind the Sutherland goal. Now, Berridge was strong. And, well, I was waiting to see who the last touch was off last. One minor detail, the ball didn't go out of play. Hills wrangle it back. Now, are in stoppage time. Murdoch almost did well to disguise the pass, finding Donaldson, but for Hills, the job is done. We know now, it is certain that they will stay top of League One Women's after 9 rounds. Looking ahead to what Hills United have next. Next weekend, it's a big game at home. Their home at Valentine Sports Park. At home against Bankstown City in 7 days' time, round 11. Another big game away to Central Coast Mariners. That'll also be streamed. That's the match of the round for round 11. Sunday, 11th of May, Mariners versus Hills United at Plume Park. That'll be called by the voice of Central Coast Football, Pete Pryor. Then up for Hills in round 12. They visit their old friends at Cook Park in St Mary's when they take on the PNFC, and they finish the first half of the season back at Valentine Sports Park. Another big home game against St George FC. And would love to call a game like that. I've never called a women's game between Hills United and St George FC before. 2 big teams in this division. Would love the opportunity. And also, we have to do a shout out to the greatest cup competition in the world, the Sapphire Cup. So the round 3 draw was done this week, and Hills United are away to Central Coast Mariners. So 2 big away trips up the coast in a short space of time for Alan Tass's team. Details haven't been confirmed yet as to that particular Sapphire Cup game between Mariners and Hills. It will be on Dribble and on the Comps website as soon as it's confirmed. As Woolley tries to set one up, here's Chemajar, which slams it into a defender. Monique Holder also shoots at a defender. Now Woolley stayed on side. Holder. And Chemajar hasn't given it up. Here's Chemajar to make it 5. That's 5 goals for her and 8 for Hills United in stoppage time. She's been pouncing on those loose balls all game. And how about the skill to beat the defenders and slot it past the keeper? Well, as the kids say, Hills United really ate this evening. And it is now 31 goals in 8 games for the women of the Hills. And give the goal difference a much needed boost. You never know when goal difference might come in handy at the end of the season. And here's Chemazar again. Straight to the penalty box. And she's marshaled away from it by a couple of Souther defenders. Degnan was stepping in there. But there's the full-time whistle from Jeffrey Zhang. A great day out for Hills United here at Karela. They stay top of League One Women's with an 8-0 victory over Sutherland Strikers. Bella Donaldson opened the scoring in the 6th minute with a long-range free kick. In the 9th minute, Ellen Chemazar scored the first of a 5-goal haul for this evening to make it 2-0, and then Chemazar scored again with a literal last kick of the first half to make it 3-0. Just before the hour mark, Jess Wooten scored her customary goal in a League One Women's game to make it 4-0. Chemajar then scored twice in quick succession to make it 6-0. Monique Holder came off the bench, making it 7-0 in the 77th minute. That was a nice left-footed strike. And then the last goal, as we just saw, in the 3rd minute of time added on, was from Ellen Chemajar, her 5th of the evening. We hope you stick around and switch over to some of the NPL women's streams that are currently in progress. You've got a pick of 4 games, the Battle of the Students, University of New South Wales versus Sydney Uni, called by the Professor Melissa Muscat. You've also got Newcastle Jets versus Gladesville Ravens, called by Ashley Borg. There's also games called by non-Maltese commentators, so at Cromer Park, Manly United versus RPL Leichhardt, and at Rudy Hill, Western Sydney Wanderers versus the Bulls FC Academy. I hope to be calling the next League One Women's Match of the Round in 7 days' time. 5 p.m. Sunday, 4th of May from the Palace Marconi Stadium. Marconi Stallions versus SD Raiders. That's another big game. But on behalf of Football New South Wales, our camera operator Ross, and our broadcast partners Sportcast, this is Eric Cipriano signing off. Thanks for enjoying our League One Women's coverage. Just remember, kids, coffee and tattoos make you feel better. Protect the dolls. We will see you next time.